Oh, no, he didn't.
Girl, yes, he did.
He really did. And I'm still not over it. Welcome to another edition of Oh No, Girl Yes, short for Oh No, He Didn't, Girl Yes, He Did. The podcast where we discuss all things relationship tunal. And it doesn't even have to be our relationships. We just talk about interpersonal relationships, communication. What can we do to grow? What ain't our problem? What is our problem? What is their problem?
Mm-hmm.
Thank you for following us on Twitter, Instagram, Facebook, YouTube, Patreon. Patreon loves the behind the scenes deal. So make sure you
Patreon.
Love Patreon. All right. So the topic today, I am hopeful. So last week's topic, you got a little riled up. More so than I thought. I thought I would get more riled up last week. But this might be the week that riles me up because it's a companion piece to last week's topic, right?
Right.
Last week, you said you really enjoyed last week's episode. Remind us what we were talking about last week.
Remind us of what we were talking about last week.
What were we talking about last week? Help me, help you. Help us, help you.
Yeah, it was about that whole thing where, you know, you had a conversation with a guy who admitted the shortcomings some men, not all, have when it comes to asking a woman out, or they may not do it all the way, or they're like, you know, they just hint at it or joke about it, and it's up to you to pick up that slack and, you know, ask yourself out. But then don't ask yourself out.
Don't ask a man out. But once I didn't really ask you out, you should have asked me out.
Yeah, that's where you step in and just help me help you. Help me.
We talked about men acknowledging a gross deficiency in the group as a whole, but also feeling like we need to accommodate the deficiencies if we want to be with somebody, I guess.
Yes, if that's what you want.
And I saw a lot of really fun comments to that episode. A lot of people got involved with that, so we always love hearing y'all's comments. So this is a companion piece to last week's episode because it's still about the person I had that conversation with. It's a different part of the conversation. It actually is just the conversation as a whole.
Right.
So I shared with you after I had a conversation with this person, and he had told me this stuff, and that's what we talked about last week. I just felt so uneasy during the conversation, but even after the conversation. I'm better now. Mm-hmm. But I kept trying to figure out, why did I feel the way I felt? I have had 1,000 conversations with 1,000 different men. I usually don't agree with 999 of them. Mm-hmm. So it wasn't that he said something I didn't disagree with. It wasn't that he and I have no relationship like whatsoever. We're not friends. We've never dated.
Right.
But it still affected me, right? And I was trying to tell you why it bothered me.
Right.
But I didn't have a word for it, and then I found the word for it. So that's what we're going to talk about today. Gaslighting.
Mm-hmm.
Now, I feel like gaslighting is one of those words we hear all the time now, kind of like bullying or fat shaming or mom shaming, you know, like kind of catchphrases. So I've never really invested in really understanding what that word even meant.
Do you have a definition? Do you have a definition?
I have a definition now, but when you hear gaslighting, what do you think? Because I didn't really have a real thought about it before I looked it up.
I feel like it's an intentional picking to try to warrant or try to get a response from you or get something out of you. Whether it's like trying to get you in a gotcha moment where it's like, well, you're lying, even though I said the truth, you're just going to tell me I'm lying anyway, just to try to evoke this emotion out of me, you know, and start a fight.
It's Merriam-Webster probably won't say when somebody picking at you, but that's exactly what it is. Somebody picking at you. I feel like you want me to go off.
Yes.
Gaslighting.
Mm-hmm.
I was talking to my mom about it. She said there's actually a movie called Gaslight where the man manipulates his wife to the point where she thinks she's losing her mind. So gaslighting is a tactic in which a person or entity, in order to gain more power, will make a person question their reality.
It's very manipulative. Yes, I agree.
Right. And this says it's a common technique of abusers, dictators, narcissists, and cult leaders. It's done slowly so the victim doesn't realize how much they've been brainwashed. But this article from Psychology Today that I pulled up, it says 11 warning signs that you're being gaslighted. Oh. So this is for you to recognize.
I might hear something.
I want this to be informative because, like I said, you know for a fact, I'm a person that's very fact oriented, and I remember what I said and what you said. It actually it's a part of my personality and conversation style that drives my friends and family crazy, because you'll say something and I'll say, well, no, you just said such. And even if that's not what you meant, I'm going to hold on to what you said. Mm-hmm. No, this is what you said. And it drives people crazy because I do remember what was said. Mm-hmm. In the conversation with this person that inspired last week's episode, they kept telling me that I was changing what I said, or that I said something different, or that that's not what they said once I repeated. I mean, like constantly, to the point that I was getting so frustrated. I didn't question whether it was true. Mm-hmm. I was getting frustrated with him doing it. Mm-hmm. But that was just one of his tactics. Let's go through the 11 ways, warning signs that you might be in a relationship with someone who is gaslighting you, or you need to recognize you might be the one doing it.
Okay.
All right. Number 1, they tell blatant lies. Mm-hmm. They just lie.
Been there, done that. Been on
the reason, and this is why this is a problem. And I'm going to read a lot of this from the Psychology Today article, okay? And I'll even share this on our page, this whole entire article for you to refer to. It says, you know it's an outright lie, yet they are telling you this lie with a straight face. Why are they so blatant? It's because they are setting you up to set up a precedent. Because once they tell you a huge, gigantic lie, you're not sure if anything they say is true, so you always just kind of off kilter and unsteady with them. Mm-hmm. And you're like, I'm pretty sure this is a lie. And they tell it with a straight face, and you're like, you know, I just had a flashback of the sociopath child.
I was thinking about that one too, because that was such a big.
Was that the one because that was.
It was such a huge, unexpected, like unnecessary, just lie.
Like,
I mean,
you know what? I pulled this topic and this article up for what just happened last week or 2 weeks ago, but now I think this is going to bring up some PTSD from the sociopath, because now I'm like reading it like, wait.
And then I think the problem and what made him such a sociopath is it's not like you couldn't Google his name. He had a well enough known name. Very well, that all his information could have been at easy access to you if you wanted. You know what I mean? But it's just like, so why?
But that's the thing. Do you remember this? I Googled him several times. What he knew, which was also a blatant lie that I found out after the fact, is that he told me he didn't have a middle name. Right. He does have a middle name, or at least a legal middle initial, where all of the real stuff on him comes up with his middle initial.
Yes.
Not just his first and last name. He knew that.
That's some social stuff.
So I would Google his first and last name all the time. It would bring up the general basic stuff.
Yeah.
Once I found out he was a liar, and I found that L that went in the middle for Luca, it was actually an L, girl. Not ironic and appropriate. All this other stuff came up from first name, the letter L, and last name.
Mm-hmm. Gotcha.
Blatant lies. Number 2. Why you about to make me mad again, girl? Why you let me read this?
I ain't know it.
Number 2, they deny they ever said something, even though you have proof.
I didn't say that.
Scroll up on your text messaging.
You know how many times I was about to say, you know how many times I've screenshotted somebody, I'm like, and circle it, circle it. Send that back.
It says, you know, they said they would do something. You know you heard it, but they out and out deny it. It makes you start questioning reality. Maybe they never did say that. And the more they do this, the more you question reality, your reality, and start accepting theirs.
Now, okay, so does it become gaslighting because of your reception of it? Like, because you started questioning yourself, does that make it gaslighting, or does the act itself make it gaslighting?
I think the result of it, because somebody could just be like, I forgot I said that, and they ain't trying to make you crazy.
Well, no.
It's to make you think that didn't happen. That's gaslighting.
I guess what I'm trying to say is, just with those 2 examples, I can think of past relationships or situationships or whatever, where these things have happened to me. So was that person and intentional, like the lies? Like, you know you lying, and I sent you a text message, you know, you still acting like you're lying. does it become gaslighting because they did that, or because I started questioning myself, like, well, maybe.
Well, I think it's a combination platter. They did that to cause you to question yourself.
Mm-hmm.
If you didn't question yourself, they still did it to cause you to question yourself. You might not have failed for the banana in the tailpipe, but they still gaslight you.
That's horrible.
The whole point of it, the intention is to make you think you don't know what you know.
Right.
That's the short version. Like you said, picking with me to try to get a reaction. So then it's like, man, look at how you react. And it's like, wait, what? Yeah. And you start questioning yourself. Listen, we've done podcasts about it. We've had conversations about, was this mine? Was this my trigger? Because I responded or reacted this way. Mm-hmm. I think about the person late last year I was dealing with who would say, hey, what are you doing Sunday? And I would say, nothing, what's up? Well, let's hang out. You know, maybe a little bit on the earlier end. I know you have to go to bed early. Okay, cool. And when I don't hear from them Sunday and the next day, and I say, hey, well, what happened to yesterday? Oh, did I say we was doing something Sunday?
Yeah.
Yeah? Oh, I think I said, maybe let's do something, you know, and it's like, okay, so did I just create a whole date for Sunday that he didn't say? Now, that's also a blatant lie. So it all can go together.
Right.
Number 3, they use what is near and dear to you as ammunition. They know how important your kids are to you. They know how important your identity is to you. So those may be some of the first things they attack. If you have kids, they'll say stuff like, you shouldn't have ever had those kids. Or they'll tell you you'd be a worthy person if you didn't have this long list of negative traits. Don't talk about the list I made of you. They attach the foundation of your being. Yes, I made a list of your negative traits. This is true. This did happen. Yeah. I don't feel like I was gaslighting you. I wasn't trying to manipulate you into changing them. I said, please pray about changing them.
I don't even know where the list is.
But yeah, they'll make you question who you are. I'm trying to think of a good example. You know, it might be you see yourself as a certain kind of friend. Mm-hmm. And they know how important it is for you to be a supportive, good friend. And you're like, you ain't a good friend. You ain't even call your friend that day, you know.
Right. I think the difference when you made that list for me in our friendship, you weren't telling me nothing I didn't know. I don't know if that's a good or a bad thing.
I'm feeling shocked from that day.
So I
actually did not think you knew that.
Oh, okay. Wait, no.
Yeah, I thought,
But when it comes to, I don't think I've ever, I can't think of that I've experienced this in a romantic sense.
Yeah, I don't know that I have either. Because kids will be an easy one to attack somebody's ability or a capability as a parent.
Yeah.
That sometimes might come from your parent. You know, your mom might be like, well, you don't be dropping them kids over here or whatever, knowing that you're going to get defensive. You know, so gaslight can come from any situation.
Right.
We're kind of talking about relationships because that's what the focus of this podcast is. All right, number 4, they wear you down over time. This is one of the insidious things about gaslighting. It's done gradually. A lie here, a lie there, a snide comment every so often, and then it starts ramping up. Even the brightest, most self-aware people can be sucked into gaslighting. It is that effective. It's the frog in the frying pan analogy. The heat is turned up slowly, so the frog never realizes what's happening to it. Mm-hmm. I think that's across the board where it'll be little things that kind of bother you, like microaggressions with different people, until you just say, oh, that's just how they are. But the whole time, they doing it.
I don't deal well with microaggressions. I think I proved that with the pork chop dude that night. Like, I haven't talked to him since because that first conversation was full of microaggressions.
Right.
Against me. And so I mean, so he wasn't good. If he was supposed to be gaslighting me, he wasn't good at easing into it. or you have such a sensitivity to being gaslit that it ain't gonna be another conversation. Yeah, because if that's the first personality you show, then that's who you are, and I don't want to do.
Right, you know that doesn't feel good, and that's the thing. A lot of people don't feel good and don't realize why they don't feel good. Mm-hmm. You are somebody that don't deal with somebody in that way often. So when somebody is introduced and they doing that, it's like, ooh, wait, I didn't feel like this yesterday.
Right.
So it must be.
And I remember thinking, even in that moment, he made me feel bad because I felt like my night had been ruined. My Friday night where I had peace and, I was going to enjoy a glass of wine or do this and do that. He ruined that for me. And that just a small amount of time.
Right. Small amount of time. This wasn't even nobody you had ever met in person. So imagine people that are in full-blown relationships. Think about how many times I had to tell you about, girl, let me tell you what he did to mess up my night.
Right. Yeah. Yeah.
All right, number 5, their actions do not match their words. When dealing with a person or entity that gaslights, look at what they're doing rather than what they're saying. What they're saying means nothing. What they're doing is the issue. Let me say, this person last week kept saying, I don't even like to talk. I'm trained to listen to people. And he never shut up. He talked the entire time. So he kept saying what a great listener he was, yet he would not let me finish a sentence or listen to what I was saying. But he kept telling me he was a great listener. I was like, you can't be a great listener because you keep talking. I don't even like talking. And he proceeded to talk for 2 hours. Right. I kept trying to get off the phone with him.
Yeah.
Number 6, they throw in positive reinforcement to confuse you. This person that's cutting you down, telling you that you don't have value, is now praising you for something you did. So this adds an additional sense of uneasiness. You think, well, maybe they aren't so bad? Yes, they are. This is a calculated attempt to keep you off kilter and, again, to question your reality. Also look at what you were praised for. It's probably something that served the gaslighter.
Yeah.
Trying to think of an example. I mean, I think a lot of these definitions, I think obviously can happen in a lot of different relationships. I think the key on knowing whether or not you are being, I never know if it's gaslighter or gaslit, is if the intention is to manipulate you.
Yeah.
Because everything somebody says is not meant to manipulate you. It's just what they said.
But as you're reading through, we've only made it to number 6. And it's like, all I can hear is, this is abusive. This is absolutely abusive. You know, I mean, some people can have these, like you said, the traits, the intent is always the number one, you know, telltale sign. But my God, if somebody has to deal with this on a daily basis.
Every day, people do it every day. And they don't even know they're dealing with it. You know, when I talk about how people are on social media and everybody's arguing with everybody and strangers and all that, a lot of people don't realize how sick and how much anxiety they have, because that's just how they are all the time. And then when you detach from it and you see people engaging in it, you're like, you don't even realize you are driving yourself crazy.
Yeah.
Because you are constantly engaged in something that's not productive.
And that's just like when you take a break from social media. I'm sure everybody has done that at one point, and you realize how free you are. Mentally free. You know, I don't, you know, you take a week off of Facebook and you come back and you're like, I really didn't need this for a whole week.
Right. Now, TikTok is another story. They talking about taking my TikTok away. All right, number 7. They know that confusion weakens people. Gaslighters know that people like having a sense of stability and normalcy. Their goal is to uproot this and make you constantly question everything. And humans' natural tendency is to look to the person that will help you feel more stable, and that happens to be the gaslighter. Mm-hmm. Now, this is the thing about that. And I've said this a lot of times with you when we've been talking. I don't like the feeling I get when it's a new situation and I don't know if he's going to call. I don't know if he's going to do what he says he's going to do. Mm-hmm. And because I don't like that unknown or that anxiety, I would rather just not deal with it. Because on a natural day, on a normal day for me, I'm not an anxious person. I'm not worried. I don't watch, I'm not, I can have stuff that I need to address or focus on at some point, but I don't just walk around worried.
Yeah.
When you are trying to get to know somebody, is he gonna call? Is he gonna text? It could be as much as getting off the phone with him and say, hey, let me call you right back. And then 2 days later, you're like, what does right back mean to you? So they know that you're confused. Yeah. And that's their power, is in keeping you confused. Mm-hmm. Your last friend, you had some confusion. But do you think, because again, I don't want to give these dudes that much credit. Like they got that.
Yeah, I don't know how, but I think that's his MO. He may not have all the other symptoms, but that whole.
Or do you think he's consciously doing it to manipulate you, or you think he's just been able to do that and get away with it? I mean, I guess that's still a manipulation.
It's still manipulating, yeah. The intention is to manipulate, because even after we broke off or I stopped talking to him, he was saying stuff. You still don't want to be my friend, like why would you? if I said this, that's what I meant. And my actions have shown this.
You know, the word manipulate sounds so devastating, but I guess all of them are trying to manipulate us in some way.
Mm-hmm.
This is true.
Mm-hmm.
Number 8, they project. They are a drug user or a cheater, yet they will constantly accuse you of that. This is done so often that you start defending yourself and you're distracted from their behavior.
Mm-hmm. I've seen it
now,
in the movies.
I've had this happen when somebody's like, well, you're not even trying to spend time with me. And I've scrolled back like, well, no, I asked you yesterday, and then I asked you about tomorrow, and both times you had something hateful to say about him. To where if I didn't have good sense, I'd be quick. What? Well, no, yes, no, you ain't trying to see me. That's why we here.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I've seen that happen a lot.
Yeah.
I saw it happen a lot when I was younger and dating too. Just trying to put everything on you. Well, you don't want to see me. You don't want to spend time with me, and it's like
it's childish.
It is.
Well, let me tell you, I had this dude I dated that he was cheating on me. I thought he was cheating on me. I wasn't sure, but he was. But what he would do is he would give me this very detailed lie on the front end. He's going to be with this friend. He's going to be gone for this long. He might be back this late. All these things, right? And because I thought he was cheating, I think maybe I was gaslighting him now that I'm about to tell this story. Because I would just say, okay. And he would keep giving me detail after detail. And I would say, okay. And he was like, well, it's like you don't even care. It's like you don't even care. I'm trying to tell you what I'm doing and you like you don't care. So no, that was him projecting onto me. I was like, I do care, but you're going to go do whatever you want to do, regardless of what you tell me you do. Right? So when I said that to him, he's kind of like, I ain't doing that. And I said, cool, me either. And that messed him up. Because I said, okay, me either. And he was like, what you mean me either? I said, if you're not doing nothing, I'm not doing nothing either.
Mm-hmm.
And because he knew he was doing something, it bothered him. Yeah. So I caused him I projected the insecurity he was trying to cause me onto him.
Take notes, ladies and gentlemen.
Take notes. I said, hey, buddy, we, me and you, we together. We doing the same thing. So whatever you about to go do, I'm going to do here. What, nothing? You ain't about to do nothing? Me either. I'll see you later.
Mm-hmm.
Don't rush back.
Take your time.
Take your time. Do not rush home. Have fun with your homeboy. That messed him up. That was some of my best work. All right, number 9, they try to align people against you. Gaslighters are masters at manipulating and finding the people they know will stand by them no matter what, and they use these people against you. They'll make comments such as, oh, this person knows that you're not right, or this person knows you're useless too. Keep in mind, it does not mean that these people actually said these things. A gaslighter is a constant liar. When the gaslighter uses this tactic, it makes you feel like you don't know who to trust or who to turn to, and then it leads you right back to the gaslighter. And that's exactly what they want, because isolation gives them more control. I think that happens in relationships when people say, my mama said that you wasn't going to be worth a damn. Your mama said that? Me and your mama cool. So now I ain't talking to your mama like I used to. I'm questioning myself around her. I'm trying to think of a personal situation like that. Again, the reason why I think you and I don't have that many full-blown situations is because we don't be in full-blown situations.
Well, that's part of it. I can think of like the guy you were talking to.
Oh gosh. This gonna be one of mine? Okay.
Well, no. I mean, it's a small example of it. But if you didn't have the personality and you weren't who you were, it would have affected you.
Girl.
But you remember when you were talking to that guy at the end of last year, the same guy, and you said, and he would try to get me on his side. Well, what did Robin say? Well, you know what I mean, like that type of thing, or in the conversation.
He'd be like, I'm gonna tell Robin.
Right. Something like that. That was minor thing.
No, that's good though. That's good, because he was trying to do that to manipulate the situation.
Yeah.
Or thinking that if you said something to me or felt a certain kind of way, I would do more of what he wanted me to do.
Right. Which it didn't matter. It wouldn't have mattered. But
yeah, because you're worse than me. He didn't realize that, I don't think. Oh, that's a good example. That's good that you thought of that. He would do that.
Mm-hmm.
That's a good example. Mm-hmm. All right, number 10. They tell you or others that you are crazy. This is one of the most effective tools of the gaslighter because it's dismissive. The gaslighter knows if they question your sanity, people will not believe you when you tell them the gaslighter is abusive or out of control. It's a master technique. So once they done told everybody she's crazy, she crazy, she crazy, by the time you come into them with something is genuine and factual, your sanity has already been compromised. And not only that, the whole goal of all of these, we've got up to number 10 out of 11, is to cause you to question your sanity in your right mind. This person last week, he didn't cause me to question my sanity, but he was trying to cause me to question what I said, what I meant, what I felt, all that. And it was just like, I know myself well enough to know what I said and what I think and what I feel. So the fact that you keep trying to bring everything into question, remember it was even a situation where I did a thing with him and we were talking about love languages, and I told him my love languages and he said, Somebody did that on Instagram the other day. Somebody I do not know. Never met. Have no idea who this person is. I posted a picture of some fried chicken I made. And they responded, I didn't think that you cooked. And that bothered me because I thought, who are you? Who told you I didn't cook? How else would I eat? Why would you have made such an assessment?
Why you on my page?
Why would you make any assessment on me? You know, so it was like, I didn't think that you cooked is what? Like,
once again, ladies and gentlemen, don't talk to us about food.
Please. Is that our breaking point? Food?
Don't talk to me about food.
There is a thing. All right, number 11. This is the last warning sign that you are dealing with someone who is a gaslighter. By telling you that everyone else, your family, the media, is a liar, it again makes you question your reality. You've never known someone with the audacity to do this, so they must be telling the truth, right? No, it's a manipulation technique. It makes people turn to the gaslighter for then correct information, which isn't correct information at all. Now, out of all 11 of these, you know who I'm thinking about.
For number 11.
Huh?
You said for number 11, who you think?
I said that was number 11. So for all 11 of them, we've pointed out a situation or a person. But there's somebody who I know has done all 11. They do all 11. Number 1, they tell blatant lies. Number 2, they deny they ever said something even though you have proof. Number 3, they use what is near and dear to you as ammunition. Number 4, they wear you down over time. Number 5, their actions don't match their words. Number 6, they throw in positive reinforcement to confuse you. Number 7, they know confusion weakens people. Number 8, they project. Number 9, they try to align people against you. Number 10, they tell you or others that you are crazy. And number 11, they tell you everyone else is a liar. That would be number 45, Commander-in-Chief.
When you started with number 1, I was like, oh, we could go political with this one.
Yeah, but that's where that term really, I start really hearing it when people talk about politics or talk about him. And he will say something that is not true. And we all know it's not true. And he will try to confuse people, mostly his base. He'll tell you everybody else is a liar, the media, fake news. Everybody else is crazy.
But he's made jokes about his gaslighting.
Right.
And he said, I can say whatever I want to. They're going to believe me. So, or maybe he said he can do something.
Well, he did say he could shoot somebody on Fifth Avenue and they would still vote.
Maybe that's what I'm referring to. So maybe.
Right. But he knows that we've seen him on tape. We've seen the lawsuits. We've seen all that stuff. And this is not to make this a political podcast, but he is a master gaslighter because it don't matter. No, and so you really, half the time that you're watching him talking or half the things that you see are happening in this country, you're like, am I crazy for thinking something wrong? Am I crazy? Let's anyway. Yeah. All right, so we're going to put this link to this article from Psychology Today on the page. You might be in a situation with a gaslighter, or at least you need to be aware of warning signs. It's usually attributed to people who are abusive, narcissistic personality disorder, people where it's about them. I've dated so many narcissistic people I remember this one guy, what he would do, and I would see it when he would do it. Now, I will say, for the manipulators, the master manipulators I have dated, I have usually called them on it when they do it. Because I would say, either you are a master manipulator or you just know how to calm me down. I would say that to them. Like, something ain't right here. One of them, if I told him how I felt about something, he would say, well, you shouldn't feel that way. Yeah, but I do feel that way. Yeah, you shouldn't feel that way. That's a horrible manipulation. Because then you're sitting there like, but I do feel that way. But you shouldn't. But I do. And the other one, the sociopath, was a master manipulator. And one of his most famous things he said to me was, you should never make a critical decision at the top or the bottom of a wave. You just happen to be at the bottom of a wave right now.
You ate that up. I remember you.
I ate that completely up.
And you were walking around telling everybody else.
Because it still makes sense to me.
It does.
It still makes perfect sense. Now, he was saying it to manipulate me.
Right, the situation. Yeah.
It's 100%. You should not make a decision at the top of the bottom of the way. But I was like, yeah, that's right. I was mad, and then he said that.
Yeah.
And when he said it, like I said, I knew I was being manipulated.
You did.
But I felt like, well, maybe he is the person that knows how to handle me.
Oh, okay.
The things we want to believe when we want to believe things.
Right.
Woo! All right, y'all. Let's not be manipulated. And we also need to know the difference. Everybody ain't out to get you. I think, to me, what is going on, more so than men being out to get us, I don't think they out to get us. That's part of the problem. They ain't trying to get us.
Right.
That ain't the problem. But I do think they are trying to find the path of least resistance to get what they want from us. And so there's still a manipulation involved in that. Let me put forth the least amount of effort to get the maximum return. So that still will involve a manipulation.
Right.
Return. Like, let's just be friends and see what happens. Anything else you'd like to add, friend?
No, that's it. I think this was very informative.
Yeah, I have some idea. We keep lying to y'all, telling y'all we're gonna have a guest. I have so many ideas for guests, and we're gonna hunker down and focus. There's this pandemic going on outside, but we still been busy. We're going to get them on because we have some people that can talk really about very intensive relationships and situations they were in. They can speak to a lot of our other podcasts we've already gone through. And so we want to start hearing more. We share a lot of our personal stuff, even more so of that on Patreon. But we definitely want to start talking to some other people who have gone through some marriages, have gone through some, traumatic dating circumstances and situations, and still live to tell the story. And we can all learn and grow from it. So. I promise you that's coming up. We also still working on first date. Make sure you have sent us your email so we can send you that opening questionnaire. YouTube, Patreon, Instagram, Facebook, Twitter. Make sure you follow us on all apparatus.
Yeah. Yeah.
My pressure didn't get us up as high as I thought it was going to get for this.
No. That's fine.
You know why? Because I was thinking about the person from last weekend, and you happily reminded me of the sociopath, and so it helped balance out my anger. Thank you for that.
He didn't get it all.
What would I do without you? Oh, no, he didn't.
Girl, yes, he did. But we're going to notice it this time.
We're going to do better next time.